Okay, so hello to you all, and thank you everyone who's able to attend the webinar for today. My name is Matt. I'm from BCP, and I'll be your host for today. Before we go into the introductions of our lovely guests, please feel free to ask any questions you can using the Q&A feature on your screens. Toward the end of the webinar, we'll have a 15-minute session where we do a Q&A session. So we'll try and get through as many questions as we can in that time. If we don't cover your question, we'll try and get back to you as soon as we can after the webinar to give you an answer for that. So as a lot of you are aware, so this webinar is about two key areas, AI and customer retention. And they've had an impact on the industry so far, and they'll continue to shape the landscape in the wholesale sector going forward. I'm delighted to be joined by four guest speakers from the industry. And they're representing one of the leading trade association bodies in the wholesale industry, two leading wholesale businesses, and a major supplier. And we're here to gain their insights and their views and their thoughts and experiences they see AI having on the trade and what their strategies are going forward with regards to customer retention. So let's introduce our panel. Can I ask you all to introduce yourselves? I'll just go around the panels at the moment. So James, can we start with you, please?
Hello everyone, I'm James Bielby from the Federation of Wholesale Distributors. We're the trade association representing food and drink wholesalers supplying into retail and catering.
Thank you. And Emma, please.
I'm Emma Byrne. I'm representing BWG Foods. BWG is the Spar wholesaler, within the Republic of Ireland, among other brands, but we also have a large food service wholesale business too.
Thank you. And Philip, please.
Philip Ternant. Hi everyone, and thank you for investing your time in this webinar. I've been working for 40 years now in food service with two key players on the wholesale side, Bidfood for 23 years and now Creed Food Service for 17 years plus. I recently removed myself from MD to chairman to support further our growth, our investment initiatives, while supporting our succession plans and the key initiatives for our board.
Okay, thank you, Philip. And Andy, please.
Yeah, hi everybody. It's Andy Pratt, so from BCP Software. We're a solutions provider specialising in the wholesale distribution and food service space. We provide solutions from ERP systems, which is sales, supply chain, warehouse management, through to e-commerce.
Okay, thank you all. So we'll get started on the first topic of the webinar, which is the AI. So AI is a term that we're getting more and more familiar with. It's being mentioned quite a lot around the world in multiple industries, and it's taking some traction in the wholesale industry as well. So we'll start off the questions with James as well. So James, how do you see the industry viewing AI and how do you see your members being impacted by this?
Yeah, it's a good question and one which lots of people are talking about at the moment. You can certainly predict a powerful future for AI as a disruptor, but it's already being used both in wholesale and in the wider economy. The budget for Office of Budget Responsibility says that increasing the availability of AI across the whole economy would lead to a 5.1% increase in productivity. That's AI, which is in place now. So if that was adopted more widely, we would see an increase in productivity and growth. But then you've also got frontier AI. So that will be the things which we don't necessarily know about, which are coming down the line. And they will be those which are more disruptive. There's a massive potential for skills and capability to be enabled through that AI. And yeah, wholesalers are using it and they should use it if it's viable and it's commercial. Some of the things which have been in place for a while, such as stock replacement systems, utilizing AI. I mean, it's fundamentally about taking processes which are already there, automating them and using the analytics platforms to learn faster and work harder. So things like back-end systems, cutting down on those manual roles, which ultimately saves jobs. And there's lots of opportunities associated with manual learning and algorithms, especially on the selling side. So making sure that customers are profitable. So wholesalers use things like Amazon Web Services, using their spreadsheet, which feeds into ERP for telesales suggestions, as well as forecasting, which I know we're going to hear a little bit more about later on in the session. They might use AI to do a menu scan. So they look at a caterer, see which products are on their menu. Then they'll know that the types of products that customer buys, and then they can use that information to offer deals. There's other things like sort of voice recognition for orders. So taking orders over the phone and taking the data and then transforming that into an order, which allows wholesalers to then be open 24/7. It's not a cure-all. There are limits, of course. And I think there's a distinction to be made between human intelligence and artificial intelligence. Human interaction with the data is just as important as the actual information itself. Before AI can be applied, the data needs to be clean, needs to be tidy, needs to be in one place, and applying some rules to that data to start to use those predictive analytics to drive data quality. If you've got poor information in, you'll have poor information out. So you need to get that right. Some wholesale employees use ChatGPT for writing reports and for using documents. And I think that's absolutely fine. The one thing that they shouldn't do, or nobody should do, is use data. So don't put your data into ChatGPT, because once you do that, it's out there for everyone. But I think AI is here, it's being used, and there's lots of opportunities that we don't yet know about.
Okay, thanks, James. Yeah, some interesting points there. So Emily, like what James just said, so do you see AI having application in your business at BWG?
Yeah, sure, Matt. I suppose this subject is particularly pertinent to BWG. And I suppose the significance of AI, it can't be underestimated. It's currently revolutionising some of the processes within our own business. So particularly around simplifying tasks for the retailers and strengthening our customer relationships. So through innovations like suggested ordering, which we have seamlessly integrated onto our e-commerce platform, we've witnessed a paradigm shift. And despite any, I suppose, initial skepticism of our retailers, some fine-tuning of the algorithms have garnered widespread acceptance among the pilot stores that we have. So to achieve this, we're leveraging various streams of data, including the store purchases, stock levels, sales data, and even some of the weather forecasts, among others. And our AI-driven tool provides the store with a one-click ordering facility. So this is streamlining their operation and enhancing efficiency in store. But as with all emerging technologies, we've recognised that there's improvements further up the supply chain that would be required. So we're looking at projects to optimise the use of AI within our own DC network, so to enhance the reorder quantities and streamline internal operations, which will assist with optimising our own stock levels. So our ongoing projects aim to facilitate like seamless B2B for our retailers, reduce their wastage, optimize their stock holding, and in turn increase their cash flow. So by automating those repetitive tasks and providing actionable insights, we're empowering them to focus on value-added tasks for their business, which will help grow it and make it more profitable.
Okay, thanks. So again, yeah, interesting points there. Philip, is that similar at Creed? Are you using the same sort of way AI as the BWG, or slightly differently?
I think it's the same and different, but I think for me, AI is here. We can't ignore it. We've got to understand it more and quickly in respect of what we can use it for, what our customers are and will be using it for, what our suppliers are using and will use it for. It has to improve our customer service and our offering. It has to optimize our operations, and it has to help in reducing our costs. So for me now, it's an awareness of what others are doing and why. Is it necessary? Is it important? Is it vital? Or is it just nice to be seen to be doing? What are the benefits? What are the costs? And then what is the return on that investment? Key areas for us at Creed Food Service that are being explored revolve around data, which we'll touch on a little later, the analysis of data, the speed of analysis in the areas of product, customer, and trending. Stock is another key area within forecasting, demand, and demand planning, avoiding wastage, unnecessary costs whilst improving availability, stock holding. And the algorithms, as mentioned earlier, are endless and bring in areas such as weather, school holidays, seasonality like Mother's Day, Easter, Halloween, Christmas, which are key events for us as wholesalers. The optimum use of space in a warehouse, what's the right location for pick and bulk, what's the ideal warehouse layout, are further areas for us under review. We've looked at chatbots, those mentioned earlier, and we've rejected them for now, as we are a people business and know the frustrations that exist with those companies that currently use them. Routing, we've looked at routing and rejected those for, again, many reasons that we know our customers and the time and the vehicles that we need to be routed. We are looking at targeted promotions. It is still being reviewed for our free trade accounts that can accept promotions. So AI is very much here. We're all talking about it. It's on the agenda as the #1 subject today. But we all know it's scary. It's scary because still much of it is unknown today, let alone in 1 year, 5 year, or 10 years' time.
Exactly. Yeah, cheers for that, Philip. So Andy, last but not least, so I mean, as a technology supplier, we keep a close eye on the developments in AI at BCP. So what do you see and how technology providers helping that and responding to it?
Yeah, well, we're of course very excited by AI, as you can imagine, a technology company, but we do like to make sure that technology actually delivers benefit, and we don't go off down rabbit holes looking at things which don't actually do that for us. I think one of the problems I'm going last on this kind of discussion is that a lot of things you think about are being discussed, and it's really interesting to hear about how Emma and Philip and some comments are actually showing practical applications of that as well. So it's really good to hear. I think when you look at the wholesale and distribution market, they offer on real wafer-thin margins, or that's what they tell us anyway. And where you can make marginal gains across the business can make a big difference to the bottom line and also to customer service levels. So we think AI offers some great opportunities to be a great game changer in that, really. We've already heard about some of the many applications that are being embedded into the business, and some which we're integrating into our solutions as a technology provider. When you look at AI sort of generally, there's probably two flavors of it. We've got the generative AI like ChatGPT and bots and things of that nature, and we do see some applications, some interesting observations on bots, of course, by the other panelists. But using generative AI to do things like generate product content descriptions, or even just validating product content, so you can use it in that kind of way. But we really think that sort of machine learning has the greatest potential. These tools are very good at ingesting large amounts of data from various sources, identifying patterns, and then applying those patterns to future predictions. So the kind of things we're seeing it being used now in the real world is, forecasting is a great example. So Emma was talking about that, and how not only can we just look at what the customers are buying and their buying patterns to predict, but also things like whether the effects of a promotional activity we may be doing, and things of that nature. So the kind of things which a human would probably have a lot of difficulty in doing, frankly, and that's what these sort of mass tools can do.
Yeah.
We've also seen some things in cross-selling. So being able to predict cross-selling opportunities, which might be quite unusual. So instead of just the good old coffee cup and lid scenario, looking for more obscure but science-based links. So one example was people who buy high visibility jackets for the warehouse also seem to buy baseball caps for some reason. So that's something which might not readily spring to mind. And then we're seeing other things coming through. Again, some of these have been mentioned already. So warehouse organization. So structuring your pick face based on both history and also predicted pick activities. and then routing people around the warehouse in an effective way. So lots and lots of applications coming through, which seem to just grow and grow every day. I think my final observation would be that we do see the larger organizations looking at these kind of technologies, probably from a bandwidth and investment sort of capability point of view. But we are seeing them being made more accessible to the more modest businesses, as package providers like ourselves kind of embed those in as package offers. So they're becoming more accessible, and we're using some of the services provided by AWS, Amazon, who are actually exposing some of their algorithms to the wider world on a subscription basis, which can offer quite a relatively low cost and good way to try these kind of things out.
Okay, yeah, thanks, Andy. Well, thanks all, actually. So some insightful inputs there from, and you're right, from what I hear, there are many different levels of AI and how it's used correctly, and it is a learning curve and trying to get the most out of it you can, whether it's benefiting certain stakeholders and not so much others, but trying to find the right level to use it for. It's going on. So I have noticed some questions coming through regarding AI, but we'll keep those to the end Q&A session. So putting that one slightly to the side at the moment, we'll go on to the second hot topic, which is customer retention. And this is particularly in reference to using data within the market as well to help customer retention. So James, not picking on you, but I'll come back to you first for this one. So why is this a topic of discussion for 2024 for your members?
Well, I think customer retention is not a new thing. It's really important because retailers and caterers have got a lot of choice in the market. It's easier than ever for them to switch wholesalers. But I think effective data management is a way of having a competitive advantage. So if you've got good service and added value, then you can retain customers, but also make them more profitable by reducing costs through optimizing operations with better data and analytics. And I think, as we heard, wholesalers got a lot of data, and that can really help businesses understand sales performance and base business decisions on facts. Research by Dun & Bradstreet shows that up to a third of businesses have lost customers because they have got incomplete or inaccurate data. In a hugely competitive market like wholesale, that's not something clearly they can afford to do. And I think wholesalers who've got the best data will have one of the biggest competitive advantages over their peers. Cheapest prices and good promotions and range is really important, but ultimately that's a race to the bottom. Knowing more about customers and delivering against their expectations is what will ultimately drive success. And I think that view is echoed in the research that I cited before, which shows that 78% of business leaders highlight the importance of data for the customer experience. But I think it's also equally important to ensure that you're focusing on retaining the right customers. So it's those who are profitable for you as a wholesaler and as a route to market for suppliers, but also ensuring that those customers themselves are profitable. So making sure they've got the right products for their needs. And data can really help with that process. I mean, the danger is that you overservice unprofitable customers and underservice core profit accounts. If you've got the right data, that you'll be able to retain the right customers. And ultimately, it's about building sales and raising margins. There's more tools available to do that than ever before. We heard a little bit more earlier about AI and also the use of data.
Yeah,
I think those who embrace those processes will see success. And if they don't, ultimately they're going to lose out to smarter, more focused competitors.
Okay. Yeah, thanks, James. That was interesting, particularly with the studies done on the analytics from Dun & Bradstreet, I think you said, but very interesting. Now, Philip, is that a focus that Creed Food Service has, or what kind of things are you doing to keep customers committed at your end?
Yeah, very much so. I think to keep customers loyal or sticky to you, as we call it, as a wholesaler, is an art, a changing and developing art. As a wholesaler, I think it's more pertinent, as on the whole, we sell the same products, if not similar products. It used to be all about service, ensuring the order taken was delivered in full, at the right temperature, on time, at the agreed competitive price. It then moved to ensuring there were added value initiatives, support with MPD, menu developments, great account management, and team support from all departments. And all of these are still vital today, However, customers now want more, and good, relevant, accurate, timely data is key to them too. Customers today are looking for data insights to predict actions. Data sharing helps build stronger relationships with our customers so that we can grow business in unison. A data strategy is therefore essential for companies, in my opinion, to retain a competitive edge for the future. And there are many questions to investigate when you're looking at this data strategy. The infrastructure, interrogation of multiple systems, investigating and investing in resource to manage and interpret that data. New business roles have emerged over the last few years with data engineers, data scientists, and universities now offering data science degrees. For now, and for us at Creed, product data and attributes of a product are demanded. Name, pack size, and price were all acceptable. But now you must have as a minimum allergens, nutritional content, full ingredients, packaging makeup, the weight of it, or the weight of the plastic packaging, aluminium, card, glass, etc. Storage instructions, country of origin of all the ingredients, and production. Clear pictures and video, how to cook it, how to present it, portion advice, etc., etc. They're all wanted and indeed needed. And on average now at Creed Food Service, we have over 185 attributes on any one product in our product information management system, Akinio. From there, data requests, requests on what do I buy, how often do I buy it, which sites are buying it, which sites are not buying it, by region, by group, we have it by supplier, we have it by temperature, and customers want also to know our stock holding by product as well. The requests for KPI reports on service keep being asked for, on product availability, and these can be daily, they can be weekly, monthly, or quarterly. The format of data requests, we all used to use Excel well, and we still on the whole do, but it's moved on to MS and BI, and then on to EDI for many specific customers in many specific bespoke options. And we've got to be able to do that and accommodate accordingly. So yeah, wholesaling has evolved dramatically and will continue to do so for all of us. We need to deliver satisfaction to our customers and to remain competitive as important as ever. So we keep listening, we keep asking, we keep investigating and changing to keep that one step ahead.
Yeah, the way to do it. Okay, thanks, Philip. So Emma, is that are they similar practices and actions you do regarding data at BWG or slightly different?
Yeah, sure, Matt. I suppose when it comes to customer retention strategies, data plays a pivotal role for BWG Foods, and I suppose driven by customer feedback, we've implemented a data quality management program. So that's to address concerns raised by customers, ensuring the completeness and the accuracy and the timeliness of the delivery of the information to stores. So by implementing our own internal standard operating procedures and governance measures and compliance reports, we've significantly improved the quality of data, and that's been mirrored by the customer feedback that we've received since. So I suppose on another point, analytics remains a cornerstone of our strategy too. So it provides, us with invaluable insights into consumer behavior and preferences. And by analysing our own sales data and consumer-facing promotional activities, we're able to tailor stores' individual needs, driving engagement and loyalty. And so this data also enables benchmarking against peer stores, which fosters growth and competitiveness within the industry itself. So looking ahead, I suppose predictive analytics holds immense potential for us, I suppose, in forecasting demand and anticipating customer needs. And by analysing our own historical purchasing patterns and external factors, we can stay ahead of emerging trends. So we're ensuring that products are readily available when they're required, and the proactive approach, I suppose, not only enhances the customer experience, but also maintains a competitive edge in an ever-evolving, retail landscape for us anyway. So, I mean, the integration of AI and data analytics is reshaping both the wholesale and the retail landscapes, and it's driving operational efficiencies, I suppose, fostering customer loyalty. So by harnessing the power of these technologies, we can navigate any of the challenges, I suppose, in the modern marketplace and emerge stronger than we have before. And I think there's something that are going to have to be embraced and adopted by businesses.
Yeah, thanks, Emma. Yeah, good insights there. So Andy, again, last but not least, but I mean, providing technology to the sector just shows there are certain areas, because data is key, where we can help them do that, customers. So are you seeing any observations from what Emma, Philip and James have said for driving forward?
Absolutely. I think the data has proliferated again over the last kind of few years as particularly as digital and things like that have taken off, and technology clearly is a major part to play in it, in using it and sharing data just by its nature. And particularly when you look at collaboration both up and down the supply chain. So, when you look at the customer retention and looking at it from that kind of lens, then, if the wholesaler can provide data and information that addresses the pains of their customers, then obviously that's going to add to their customer service levels and the stickiness, as Philip says. So providing the kind of information that the wholesaler might use, so everything from pallets, so simple things like pallet configuration, so the customer can figure out how to best deal with those products in their warehouse, through to simple things like making sure that the barcode numbers are correct, so that there's no issues at the till when people are trying to scan through and finding barcode errors and things like that. Compliance, again, that's been mentioned. Nutrition information, allergen information, extremely important to get that right. And people all the way down through the supply chain require that through to the end user. So being able to provide your customers that information, to provide their customers with that information is very important. One of the more sort of side areas is kind of content as well. So engaging content on things like products. So we've already talked about the rise of online and how to make yourselves competitive and engaging for your customers through really good content. So descriptions, attributes, allergen information, recipe ideas, and all that kind of thing. And all that information needs collecting, managing, and then sort of publishing wherever it's required. So we are seeing, as Philip mentioned, the adoption of specialist systems for managing product content. So product information management systems, or PIM systems, as I know, can bring some great value in terms of helping you collect, maintain, and publish data out wherever you need it. And more people are investing in those kind of technologies to make that the task of doing that much easier. And finally, really, as we talked about sharing, this is both up and down the supply chain. So as well as whole manufacturers supplying information to wholesalers, supplying it to retailers who supply it to the end customer, then that also works in reverse. So we're seeing a greater amount of sharing of sales data. So the retailer back to the wholesaler, back to the manufacturer. So the much more informed and reactive decisions on supply chain optimization can be made. So we're seeing a lot more of that as well. So finally, I think making data accessible. We're seeing a number of our customers opening up portals on their websites to their customers to provide self-service reporting capability. So a customer can go in and look at what they've been buying in detail and look at trends and look at margin information. So all the ways we can use data to engage better with our customers and make the customer more sticky.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, thanks for that, Andy, and yeah, thanks all for good insights from that. It's just, I mean, as a summary, really, data is there, isn't it? It's just using it correctly, finding how to use it to the benefits of all the stakeholders you've got, particularly customers in this case, as a few were saying, finding the right customer, the most profitable customer, not necessarily spending money elsewhere where it's just keeping what you don't want to like changing that mold as well. But yeah, very interesting. So we have actually just come to half two with that. So so thank you all for your inputs and answers to both the AI and customer retention sides and actions your companies are taking. So we'll go into the Q&A session now. So I have had a number of questions being asked, so I'll make my way through some of those. As I say, I'll try and get through as many as I can, but if not, I will get back to you, or we'll get back to you as soon as we can with answers to those. So the first one mentioned, actually says, Philip mentioned that you don't see the application of chatbots. Is this a common view? And I'll put this one to Emma, please.
Yeah, so a number of years ago, we developed a chatbot in relation to workplace before the days, I suppose, of Teams, but there haven't been any significant developments since then. I suppose for our customer-facing applications, we're unsure if our customers would engage in something that's not human to interface for problem resolution. I'm not so sure that would work. Maybe for internal applications for support queries and stuff like that, and we could see a use, but not in relation to customer facing. But potentially on our e-commerce platform for different queries that could be answered by a bot, but
yeah, for different reasons, different purposes, I suppose. So James, I mean, apart from hearing from Creed Food Service and BWG, are other members having that facing chatbots in the same way or slightly different in some cases?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. If you look at the customer ordering platform, so the way that people are utilizing product from wholesale, so how are they ordering and buying those products? 50% roughly is online or EDI, and that's the area of growth. So 50% of customers are ordering that way. 20% would be telesales or PLOF, and the rest would be in depot. So the growth area is very much in terms of that type of interaction. However, I think, as Philip says, wholesale is very much a people business.
Yeah.
And the thing that wholesale does well is add value. Obviously there are capabilities of chatbots using AI to add that value, but the human interaction is still really important. I mean, 20% of customers are ordering by speaking to somebody on the phone. That's quite an old-fashioned way of doing it, but they like it because they're able to have orders which are tailored to them. But equally, behind that, you'll have some sales platforms that will mean that the telesales operator is using what's available for them to drive sales. So that they're upselling using AI information. So whilst chatbots do have their value in use, I think that human element and that ability of the human element to upsell is really important. And I think, it may well happen, but it's not something which is widely utilized at the moment.
Yeah, yeah, a bit of a shift, isn't it? Okay, so thank you, Emma and James, for that. So question 2, interesting one actually, because some of this has been answered in some way. So how much influence do you think good data actually has on customer retention? So I'll put this again, ladies first. Actually, Emma, your view on that?
Yeah, I suppose as previously mentioned, it's one of our top priorities within BWG as an organisation. So we're acutely aware of the implications that the data can have and the impact can have on retail. I suppose especially concerning compliance and legislation. So I suppose, for example, the likes of minimum unit pricing, that has to be correct in relation to pricing enforcement for that. Or even the verification of age of sale and age of purchase, paracetamol content in product, stuff like that is extremely important. And the feedback from our customers, on that data quality and the improvements that we've made has been overwhelmingly positive. So, it's something that we can't ignore. I mean, particularly we mentioned before in relation to barcodes, information missing from that, barcode not scanning, the wrong price being charged, incorrect barcodes on products has a huge impact at store level. So yeah, absolutely, data quality is one of the key things for our customers, keeping them happy.
Yeah, definitely. No, yeah, good point. I suppose the same question to you as well, Philip, please.
It's hard to add more to what I've said earlier, but I think if you talk about data, it's understanding the quality of it, as Emma has said,
Yeah.
but also what's good for us and what's good for a customer. Customers all want different levels of data. We have a standard pack for KPIs and for data analysis and for data information, but they always want something more or something different. And I think it's understanding and listening to them and coming up with their requirements and accordingly. Some of them want it as comfort blankets. They want to be seen internally and pushing information up the stream to say they're doing a great job or we're doing a great job. So I think the integrity of data, the quality of data are always key. We've all got disclaimers to say it's only as good as the information we've been given, mainly from our suppliers. But it will keep moving forward, and people will be wanting more to be able to analyse and move forward. And I think the other side of that, which we haven't touched, talk about customers and retention, is also the suppliers. You know, the suppliers now want to know where their product's going, how much we're selling of it, to what sectors, to what clients, so that they can do and understand that better than they probably can or have done before. So for us, we're open to that, and we talk to our suppliers about their needs, their requirements, as well as our customers.
Okay, yeah, thank you both for that. Third question I've got, actually, so Andy, this one's for you. So we use Brand Bank for our product data. Is this PIM system similar or something different? Okay,
yeah, good question. So Brand Bank, as many, well, probably quite a few people who will know, is an industry repository for product data, which is maintained by the manufacturers, I believe, and then wholesalers or retailers or other interested parties can download that data, you know, on a kind of subscription basis. So that's a good source of data, but where it differs from a PIM system is that a PIM system is designed to help people manage the entire life cycle and the collection and embellishment of data within their business. So Brand Bank data may be a good start, but it may be that you are adding to that. So it could be warehousing information or your particular marketing information, things like that. So it's really designed to manage those kind of processes using kind of workflow and approvals and things like that. I think also, you know, you may be able to get 70–80% of your data from something like Brand Bank, but you may be dealing with more local suppliers often who don't, who are too small or don't subscribe to Brand Bank. So, you know, you have to collect and manage the information you get from those kind of suppliers as well. And PIM solutions can offer things like supplier portals and all sorts of goodies like that to make, you know, say the collection of that and management and maintenance and updating of it a lot more simpler than you'd find in a, you know, a classic kind of ERP system.
Okay, yep. Again, hope that answers the question that they're looking for. Emmy, quite popular. So another question for you here. So are something you mentioned earlier, so are your investments in the AI example you mentioned proving successful?
Yeah, sure. So we're currently looking at significant investment being made in AI within our DC operation. So that's still in the early stages, so I can't really provide any detailed insights at the moment on that. However, what we've seen, it looks very promising. But from the perspective of our store ordering, our customers are fully convinced of the value that AI is bringing to their own businesses and predicting orders. And you know, using both external events and internal sales has delivered outstanding results for us. And retailers are pleasantly surprised the impact that it's having on their stores, and notably reducing their wastage and their their on-shelf availability of product. Okay, yeah, thank you. Another question about the chatbots thing actually becoming quite popular as well. So people are aware of chatbots used by different companies for quite some time. So this one's for you, James, actually. So have you seen a trend in the differences between the ability that chatbots can provide? So are they becoming more human-like than they were at the start when they were used probably X number of years ago? Sometimes. So are they becoming a bit more
use now in the industry?
I think there will be a growth. I mean, as I said before, the increase of online ordering means that efficiencies. Wholesalers are going to have to look at the ways to optimize that and utilize that to the best effect. So, yes, and the sophistication of the chatbot is obviously increasing hugely. But it's the value add. I think one of the things that people say about the difference between a wholesaler like Creed or BWG or whoever it may be and Amazon is that Creed and BWG and others are about adding value and offering expertise and help.
Yeah.
And a pure sell is only one part of that. There's that human interaction adds quite a lot. So the input that you put into the chatbot obviously then means that the quality of the information is better. But I think with some way behind human interaction, I think I spoke about earlier the difference between AI and HI or human interaction. I think the human interaction element is really important when it comes to helping customers navigate and making sure they've got the right products for their customers.
Yeah, exactly. No, good point. Thank you, James. So I can see actually time is running out, and I know a lot of you have got busy schedules to attend to. So I just want to say thank you for everybody that's attended the webinar. I know there are a few questions that are left unanswered, so we'll get back to you as soon as we can. You can see my contact details on the page behind me. So if you've got any other questions, then please, no hesitation to get in contact with me, and we can get back to you regarding what your question might be. And a big thank you to the 4 guest speakers today. So thank you, Emma from BWG, from Philip from Creed, and from James from FWD, and my colleague Andy from BCP. I'm sure they're happy to help, and thank you for your time. So I hope you've all found it useful, and have a good rest of the day.